Hello, good beings, and welcome back to Midnight Requiem. Today we'll be talking about Martha E. Bernal. Was an American clinical psychologist. She earned her doctoral degree in Indiana University, Bloomington in 1962. She was the first Latina to receive a doctorate in psychology in the United States. Although Bernal's clinical work focused on assessments and treatment of children with behavioral problems, she also developed organizations with strong focus on minority ethnic groups. Born to Mexican immigrants in San Antonio, Texas, 1931, Bernal was raised in a Mexican culture while experiencing life as a Mexican American. At first, her father, Enrique de Bernal, did not want her to continue her education pursuits, but with support of her older sister, Cristina, and her mother, Alicia, her father eventually relented. Bernal began school in 1937 at a time when students at her school were prohibited from speaking Spanish. Additionally, she and her sister were discouraged from taking academically advanced courses. Bernal recalled this environment as leading her to feel shame about her ethnicity and native tongue. In 1952, Bernal received a bachelor's degree from Texas Western College, which is now the University of Texas at El Paso. Later, she attended Syracuse University and graduated with a Master of Arts degree in 1955. Moving on to Indiana University, she struggled with sexism while white men were welcome to conduct faculty-supervised research. Women were denied such opportunities and often subject to sexual advances from professors. Bernal was ready to quit Indiana University until one of her teachers, Harry Yamaguchi, persuaded her to finish her doctorate. She eventually earned her doctorate in psychology with the additional support of the other faculty members, Ronald C. Davis, Arnold Binder, and Leon. After obtaining her doctoral degree from Indiana University in 1962, Bernal applied for various faculty jobs. Unable to get faculty positions, she obtained a U.S. Public Health Service postdoctoral fellowship at UCLA and conducted research for 2 years. Eventually, she became a faculty member at Arizona State University, where she would study ethnic identity development among Mexican-American children. During this time, she developed her interest in behavioral principles and methods for the treatment of childhood psychopathology, mainly children with conduct disorders, as well as development mechanisms used for measuring ethnic identity and development of ethnic identity among Mexican-American children. Eventually, she became known nationally for displaying how behavioral interventions for children operate and the intervention's ability to operate over time, as well as for developing the ethnic identity questionnaire. Bernal and her colleagues adapted the ethnic identity questionnaire to measure ethnic identity development among young Mexican-American children. She worked from 1964 to 1971 in the UCLA Neuropsychiatric Institute developing behavioral interventions, and then continued her work at the University of Denver from 1971 to 1986. Some of her interventions involved training parents by giving them lessons plans to help with their children's conduct problems. Shortly after she started research in minority mental health, Bernal became the lead researcher on the topic of training minority psychologists. As a recipient of the NIMH National Research Service Award in 1979, Bernal published her research in American Psychologist and the Counseling Psychologist, showing the paucity of courses in multicultural health and the gross underrepresentation of minority students and faculty across clinical psychology programs in the United States. Bernal advocated for the preparations of mental health professionals to provide services to the growth of ethnic minorities in the United States. Bernal was outspoken about the need to recruit and train more ethnic minorities in the field of psychology and worked to incorporate specific organizations into the APA that had focused on ethnic issues. Her research convinced many people in the APA to form the Board of Ethnic Minority Affairs, BEMA. Bernal made numerous contributions to the field of psychology and received several awards for her developments in pediatric clinical psychology, as well as minority mental health. Informed by her personal experiences with structural and social prejudice, Bernal was instrumental in expanding access to care for minority groups and increasing recruitment of Hispanics into the field of psychology. in the United States. Among her awards, Bernal received the Distinguished Life Achievement Award from APA's Division 45 and the APA's Distinguished Contribution to Psychology in the Public Interest Award in 2001. She also contributed much to the establishment of the National Hispanic Psychology Association, now known as National Latino Psychological Association, where she became the second president and eventually the treasurer. One of Bernal's most notable accomplishments was the education and mentoring of numerous students. She helped her students navigate issues that herself had struggled with throughout her life and academic career. Today, several scholarships have been created in her name to offset the cost of higher education for minority students, with particular focus on women. She wanted to help students have equal opportunities for advancements in psychology. She has gained extensive acknowledgments from the people she had interacted with, becoming an inspiration to many of her followers and peers. In her later years, Bernal battled cancer and was eventually forced to stop her work due to declining health. However, she continued to be an influential leader by working with Commission on the Ethnic Minority in the field of recruitment, retention, and training, remaining an active member until her death. After recovering from cancer 3 times, she was diagnosed with lung cancer and died at the age of 70 on September 28, 2001. Leave a white heart in the comments in remembrance of them. And as always, be loving and caring, my good beings.